So, for some triggers today. Um, I get triggered when I get told what to do, or it's not because they're telling me what to do. It's more like um, it's a trigger. And memory comes back, and authority figures or some kind of authority figure, whatever it is, could be young too, younger than me, doesn't matter, would um what do you call this? It just like it's that tone, it's a certain of a tone. I usually prefer when people say, just to let kind of thing, or like there's a sort of a segue into what they're going to say. But if it's abrupt or if it's kind of a specific tone, it gets triggering. And I've been going through I got this like 3 day workshop that Teal Swan had that started, I think, a month ago. I'm still working on it. Um, and she does the completion process. I've yet to actually do that myself um, fully. I kind of tried it, but I didn't really go through it. But I do go through I go through shadow work. I have all these books that I go through. But the point of this video is just I wanted to show specific about what caused this. Now, I don't know if you've heard of what do you call those? The personality types, not the personality types. What is it called? Adapting personality types. What is it called? Aggressive. No, 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 no. Adaptable personality types. There's four of them, I think. Um, what was it called? It's not the Myers Briggs. No, 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 no. There you go. The four personally. Nope, that's not it. The point is, it's a fearful avoidant. What do you call that? Attachment style. There you go. That's what it's called. So I am, yeah, the fearful avoidant. Have trust issues and maintain distance from others. Um, Not so much now. It's still kind of, well, yeah, it is still there quite a lot actually. Just to let you know, you're probably seeing this. You probably picked it up on my energy and all that stuff. But I wanted to share what I discovered it, what I discovered about it, and how astrology helped me. Um, I'll show you. I'll share my screen here. 1 second here. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So I discovered that basic with the basic chart. I'll show you what I mean. So you can see right here the moon. My moon is in Aquarius. It's square my Mercury Uranus. But look at what house that's in, right? So that shows that my home environment, there's a link with nurturing. Basic needs are unmet. There's a lot of challenges with it. Um, that's with my mom's side. That's the mother figure, the moon. But it's also the fourth house, which is more of the nurturing side, the nurturing part of ourselves, or the nurturing parent. My mother was this one. So is the 10th house. She's the one that was the breadwinner. Technically, she was the one who got paid higher, I believe. Not really sure. It could have been both of them. But there was like the whole like they weren't really present. They were there, but they weren't there. That shows the Aquarius placement of my moon and square the placement of my Mercury, Uranus, in Scorpio. But here's the other thing: even though I have Moon trine Sun Pluto, look at the Sun Pluto conjunction, right? Yes, but it's a hard aspect that shows the toxicity of the home environment. but at the same time, authority figures in the home environment, but also my father. So I didn't really get a lot of nurturing from him. So he wasn't really there. That's the air thing, right? Air people aren't that close in that there's not close knit. But because of it, but this is a trine aspect. You probably see that there. Um, it actually opposite my Pluto sun is opposite of my midheaven, which comes to show what kind of jobs I've been doing, and it's been kind of always changing. When I say always changing, I don't mean like literally changing, but yeah, technically it was also changing because it's my my midheaven, as you can probably see there, was square. No, square my ascendant. I believe it's also square something here in the sixth house. Anyways, I wanted to add something else that I wanted to show you, which is important because I feel like this is tied to the fearful avoidant thing. If I look up series, which is this one actually kind of gave me more insights when I read this. You see that? Series is square, Sun Pluto. But series is my in my 12th house. So there's two parts to this. Series is rules epigenetics. So what's happening in the womb while I was in my mom's womb, but also things that I picked up from earlier life could be ancestral because it is square my sun and in that's in the fourth house. So fourth house is ancestry. And but the ascendant is also quincunx to my moon. So that's like adaptation to the changes in my environment, the things that I would have to adapt to, but also transform through. My moon is in the eighth house, it's transformation. But you can see that it's in air, water houses. So that means there's a lot of emotions involved with the lack of communication because my moon is square Mercury Uranus. But then I also have Ceres here because Ceres I was mentioning that I was saying that Ceres rules epigenetics, which means it's the environment. But because it's also the 12th house, it's subconscious. So a lot of my behaviors and my thoughts tended to be rooted in subconscious behavior of security. I do it subconsciously with my thoughts in Mercury Uranus and how I became more really at that time vigilant with my for my own security. It's still there a little bit, but it has changed, which is beautiful because that means I'm growing, I'm changing. Beautiful. I forgot to take off Denmark there. Never mind. Forget that. So, but Ceres was also square my midheaven. So that means that there was a lot of ties to security when it came to, you know, Ceres is not just about security. Ceres is actually losses and gains. So that's where the whole change comes in, where I had to change careers. Not that often, but it was. Um, you can tell that it was kind of slow because it is in Cancer. It's a little bit slower than Aries, but there's a shift there. So it happened in the span of like not too quick, but they did change because, well, I guess so. Yeah, you can say they did change quite often, but not that frequently, like rapidly. So a lot of that stuff is showing that, but this actually shows for me why there's a fearful avoidance stuff, right? If I were to look into Saturn here, which has no square, but it does conjunct my Jupiter, which they act very different from each other. So when it comes to my learning experiences, um, which is the third house, but also my taken for granted experiences, things that also come to my consciousness, this is the third house. But Saturn rules fears as well. Same with the 12th house, right? So any fears that I've had, right, that's also the 12th house. So anything that we sweep under the rug, that's the 12th house. So this explains my fearful avoidant experience in this life, to put it lightly. So I'm just going to stop sharing that there. But I wanted to quickly say that, I mean, yes, astrology will show a lot of things. There's a lot of things that can be revealed. But I want to show that, you know, because of the charts, because of how they change. Actually, I'll show that right now. I'll go back to it. If we were to look at it right now, and I changed it to my progress chart. you'll see where the planets are. I'm going to actually remove this here. Just where the planets I mentioned earlier. You'll see right now. You see? So I'm more confident with my motion, with what I want. I'm not that secretive anymore. I'm a little bit more exposed, a little bit more wiser. That is a Sagittarian thing. Um, it is square, still square my ascendant, so there's still that. My ascendant is still square midheaven. Um, but now my Pluto is conjunct my moon, which is funny because it's like in the progressed planets. Progressed planets. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean here. The progressed my moon and my moon's Pluto, progressed moon Pluto, is actually conjunct my natal sun Pluto. Well, the Pluto hasn't really changed that much by 1 degree. I believe that's it went from the Libra to the next sign, Virgo. So I tend to be more like Virgo Pluto. I know I'm using the wads here. That's for another time. The wads just gives specific, uh, just gives specifics where the planet even when progressions, I still consider the wads important because they change to a slightly different aspect of that sign that it's in. It's more Virgo here in this case. I believe it is more Virgo. But the point is that I'm going through this change with my emotions. There's like this change, shift, and just like trauma healing with my emotions, which is actually interesting because that is what I'm going through right now. It's addressing the ego, but it's like less ego. It's more about my emotions that are really shifting and working with through the emotions, transforming, transmuting it, dying to the emotions, which actually double. It's like conjunct Pluto, conjunct here, and then it's trying to my own sun. I mean, to my own natal moon. So that means there's a lot of stuff with the self changes with the self coming through. Um, Here, the ascendant you can see here is in the second house. It's transiting, not transiting, sorry, it's progressing the second house. So that means it's more focused on trying to prove myself. It's giving that energy of like trying to show myself to others. But again, because it's in Virgo, we have to look into Mercury. And if you look at Mercury here, it's still in Scorpio. So there's still that I'm a bit more open with my how I express myself. It's no longer in Cancer. It's no longer hiding things. It's more open. So which is good. A lot of changes has been happening. But the reason I'm showing this, particularly with the actual progress chart, not just the progress planet, is that you'll see how I the now it's the moon that is square Ceres, but Ceres is no longer the 12th house here. So that means that it's dealing with the losses and gains of communities and how to express my emotion. It's transforming. So and I've been going through that, but it's little things that are happening there. Um, it's still in Cancer, so but it's in retrograde. So that means it's little things that I need to look into. How do I take care of myself and work with what is offered to me versus what is not offered to me or what I can give and take. The How do I work with my own environment? Like what environment can I choose that is beneficial, that meets my needs, my basic needs? This is also Ceres. It's like the moon, high vibration of the moon. So the point I'm making with this one is because it has changed and we do all change. And that's the whole point that I'm making here, that we do all change. Um, so it's not going to be a forever kind of thing. When we change, or at least we're called to change. So just take that with like a grain of salt, a grain of sand, grain of salt, whatever. Um, and you won't be in your, you won't be stuck. People might feel like they're stuck, but it's not. I can guarantee you won't stuck. If you're feeling called to get some healing, to heal and continue healing, that's fine. It's an ongoing thing. It's a lifelong thing. So shadow work is definitely, without a doubt, worth it. Because the purpose of healing is not so much how does Tiaswan put it. She said we confuse healing with feeling good. Healing is like, how do you call this? It's like the broken bone that we need to fix so that we can walk. Feeling good is the drug, right? It's like, oh, I want to take the pain away. But no, pain is there to give you a message saying you can do something about it or not. But it's more than that. It's not about feeling good because we're used to believing in this as a species, like we're afraid of pain because pain is equal to suffering. Pain is equal to death. Well, actually, it's not always, right? Even if you were going to die, it's quick, actually. The soul leaves right away. That's why people go into, when they get so much pain, the brain, the physical body doesn't last that long in it if there's so much pain. Eventually, you will have too much of it. It's almost like it reminds you of when you're sitting in a meditative state or like the, what do you call that? The cross-legged sort of position. And if you stay there for a long time, you will get numb. That to me at least shows the body's proactive kind of adaptive capacity to actually to say, oh, okay, well, it's numb, so you don't have to feel the pain. So it's okay. So that means that it will still be okay. So, but healing is more about so that you can be of service, so that you can live in this life, so that you can actually enjoy it, so that you can actually live rather than just like, enjoy like drinking, smoking, having sex and all that stuff. No, I mean like enjoy it from the heart. Because otherwise, if there's no healing, there's no heart. A wounded heart cannot live in its own world. A wounded heart cannot, thrive. Otherwise, it'll just be toxic. That's part of that healing process. So that's my little spiel on it. I just wanted to share that. Um, yeah. So thank you for watching. I appreciate for those people who are watching this. Thank you. Um, yeah, that's all for now. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Oh, and if you have any comments or if you have any questions, if you want to share something, if you feel vulnerable enough to do that with me, that's fine. I know sometimes I still have a wall up. I still have a veil. I'm sorry. Um, it's melting. Um, I don't often do vulnerable type of videos, but it's not really that vulnerable anyways. I mean, thank you. Um, like and subscribe if you'd like to. Um, yeah, thank you very much again. Have a good day. Bye.